Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So as most of you have seen, my Forza quality has been improving greatly. I'm winning maybe 60-70% of the races I'm participating in. As you can see on the screen, I've got my skill rating there, which ranges from 1,000 to 5,000. So it kind of shows that I'm qualified to actually talk about this. I'm beating a lot of the people in the various racing clubs where they've got abbreviations in front of the names. So I think I've got to the point now where I can actually make this video and know what I'm talking about. And there's a few key things you need to do as a new player to Forza to be enabling yourself to be able to win races. There is various bits and pieces out across the internet, certain videos talking about one thing or the other. However, I'm going to try to talk about it all in one concise, clear and easy to understand video, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there that you need to do certain things to actually be quick on this game, when Forza's kind of one of the most arcadey racing games out there, even though it kind of wants to kind of try to make it look like it's a simulation type racing game. It isn't. It isn't. Trust me, because a lot of the better players on this game actually use a controller instead of a £6,000 pound sim racing setup. So anyway, you can see their safety rating A, skill rating 4295. I think I've had that around as high as 4,500. But we've been having a lot of issues recently with the servers since the first update to the game, which immediately it did kind of fix some of the issues, but now we've kind of got issues again. Annoying. I've gone in a lot of lobbies where there's only 6 people starting the race instead of the maximum, which is 24. So hopefully they sort it out. I've had a lot of crashes halfway through races, and obviously that'll put your skill rating down because it just, the game kind of thinks you're rage quitting. So anyway, enough about that. My biggest tip for anybody starting this game is that you don't need to do manual. You don't need to do manual with clutch. Yes, ultimately, if you look at the times on Rivals for any match, for any circuit, you're going to pretty much see that everybody is using manual with clutch to get the fastest time. If you have a look here at the leaderboard, should imagine this kind of tells you what people are doing. So this guy manual with clutch, you've got that guy manual with clutch where he's got a specific tune on his car, and obviously they've got all the assists off. They've got ABS off, traction control, stability. They're all off, and you can scroll down and you think, right, okay, God, I'm going to have to do manual with clutch to be able to be the fastest I can be on this game. Yes, if you're going to be a top 0.01% player, yes, you're going to need to do that. However, the amount of time I spent trying to play the game with manual gears compared to automatic, I was worrying about changing gear at the most optimal time instead of actually, going into the braking zone at the right time, hitting the apex at the correct angle, and things like that. It was kind of taking my mind off it, and you don't really need to do that. But if you scroll down here, you can see a few more people now coming with manual transmission with a few assists on. And then how long are we going to have to go down now before we get somebody who's using automatic? And again, most of these people you're seeing here, guys, in the top 100, they've got proper sim setups. And yeah, the proper tryhards. So there you go. So 117th in the world has managed to do it in automatic with ABS and traction control on. So it just shows you guys, you don't have to play this game. I enjoy this game more having it on manual. So let's go and talk about my actual settings I have. So here we go. So my settings, again, I play on a controller. Obviously, it's going to be on custom. So you're going to see what I've got. So I've got suggested line on full. I've only got that on because I just think it makes it easier for me. Yes, you do become a bit reliant on it, but once you've gone around these tracks, and there's not that many tracks in this game, once you've been on the tracks so many times, you're not going to be really relying on that. So there's some people have it braking only, but eventually if you want the best gameplay experience, just take it totally off. But for me, I have it on full. Doesn't make any difference. Yes, I know a lot of the hardcore community are like, oh, it's cheating. Well, it's in the game, isn't it? So let's get on with it. So I have ABS on. A lot of the content creators on YouTube who are way better on this game than me, they actually have this assist on. Pretty much all of them. So if they've got it on, I'm having it on. I have turned it off before. I kind of lock up my brakes a bit more, especially under braking. Again, you're supposed to brake in a straight line. You're not supposed to put any input into the steering wheel or the controller under braking. You're not supposed to do that, but with ABS on, it kind of lets you get away with it. Obviously, throttle lock, normal, you know, they're just... If you've got either of those on, you know, you may as well not just play the game at all. Traction control I've got off, and stability control. The reason I've got those two off is because when you actually try to floor it into a corner, the back end will come out, especially on front-wheel drive cars, and it kind of makes it a bit easier to corner. That's just my preference, and as I've already talked about, you need to be, in my opinion, if you're new to the game, if you've got a lot to think about anyway, you may as well have it in automatic. However, once you actually get good at the game, you know every single braking point, you hit every single apex right on every single track, then go for manual, because your brain's going to be in automatic anyway, so to speak, because you know the track, you know the braking zones, you know everything you need to know, so you may as well just add on that bit more complexity and have manual. Now, manual with clutch, I've never tried it in any game. There's a lot of people out there thinking that which one's actually faster, which I'm not really that qualified to talk about. Again, start on automatic, like I've said. Once you know the tracks, everything, then go on to manual. So a lot of people miss out this one as well with the... Where is it? Where's my controller? Where's my controller? Here we go. Advanced controller settings. So the game, by default, actually puts dead zones on both of these. So what you're going to want to do is copy what I've got. Steering, acceleration, deceleration. You all want to put those 0 to 100. Now, the best way of explaining this is that when you are steering, you will have to move your analog stick to, say, 20% towards the right before the actual game recognizes that you've actually done an input. So what's that going to do is that when you're steering left or right into a corner, you're going to have a bit of lag before the actual car responds to your controller input. You want that to be instant. Now, obviously, the reasons why dead zones exist in games is as controllers get older, they become worn out. You know, there's working parts in there. They get worn out, and yeah, they don't become as sensitive to input. Or they kind of think that input's happening when it's really not. So that's kind of why they're in the game. I understand that. However, if your controller's that old and you want to be as quick as possible on this game, the best way to do it is buy a new controller, put everything on 0, because again, it's like lag on your input. So that's what you need to do. This is the biggest thing on the video, right? Regardless of everything else I've talked about, if you want to take one thing away from today's video, it is doing this. You don't want any input delay whatsoever through dead zones when you're driving the car. Trust me, turn this off and you'll be immediately maybe a second a lap quicker. That is how much this affects you. So that's pretty much it for all the settings, and now we'll just have some gameplay in the background and I'll talk about it, and hopefully that'll make you quicker too. Okay guys, so here we are, some actual footage from Watkins Glen International Speedway. We've qualified in 3rd, and what I said in yesterday's video was that I actually qualified on medium tyres, so it's probably why I'm in 3rd place, to be fair. I do that majority of the time. I don't know why I do it, it's just attention to detail, guys. So if you are new here, please hit that like button, subscribe, turn the notifications on, and I'll try to make, you know, more educational content for people who are new to Forza themselves. So I love this track, probably my favourite track on the game now. It's actually come up a lot in rotation recently. So at this point in the race, as you can see here, it's in the apexes, taking a bit of curb. You know, we're trying... The ultimate aim of racing is to try to go round the track in the straightest line possible. And again, as I said, I make a bit of a mistake here, but it's not actually too bad if you run off. Yeah, you're going to get probably maybe a half a second penalty max, but for some reason there, the game doesn't give me any penalty, even though I've probably already gained a second. So track knowledge is definitely key. So at this moment of the race, I'm actually thinking, yep, this SLR guy, obviously manual with clutch, he's going to be quicker than me. Nothing I can do about it. He's just more skillful than me. But as you see, as this race goes on, I actually start to catch him up, guys, and we actually end up winning. We end up winning this race by, what is it, like 1/10 of a second? Something stupid like that. So we've already talked about controller setup. We've talked about the assists. Again, the fastest way possible to play this game, I'm not going to lie, is manual with clutch with all the assists off. However, trying to manage changing even manual, let alone manual with clutch, is actually going to, until you get to a level where you're comfortable with every single track, it's actually going to take your mind away from actually hitting the apexes, hitting the braking zone, turning in at the right point. And that's hence why the gameplay you've seen in the background, fully automatic. And as you can see there, we're gaining on this guy. He's obviously gone too wide round there, so we're going to get even closer now. We're both in the exact same car, and while we're talking about cars, if you are doing touring cars, if you are not in the Golf, you are kind of limiting yourself. This is the quickest car. Everybody's saying it's overpowered, but you've also got the Audi LMS. You've got to use one of those two cars, really. If you're using a Honda Civic, which the game actually gives you when you're doing the introduction series to multiplayer, yeah, you're just wasting your time, guys. You're not going to be competitive in the Civic as well as all the other cars. You've pretty much got to be in the Golf, in my opinion. We're both in the Golf here, as you can see, but sometimes we do have some good races in the Audi LMS. Don't know if it's an A3. Is it an A3? Not sure. Somebody let me know in the comment section. So again, these beautiful long weaving corners. Got to hit these perfectly. I'm in the toe right now. Beautiful track in New York City. This track has really only got one series of bends you need to nail, and this guy is just so much slower through here on his £3,000 sim setup. He's probably got manual with clutch on, he's got, you know, no assists on, and he's a bit slower than me. But on the straights, as you can see here, this guy is probably using manual with clutch because I cannot catch him. I've got a tiny, tiny bit of toe, but if we're in the exact same car, we would get more toe than that, guys, trust me. So we've just took a bit too much on the inside, and then on the outside we actually, as you can see, track limits as well. Track limits is something I've not talked about. If you want to practice track limits, go and turn them on in the settings. You can get a blue ribbon or cones around the track, and it'll actually tell you the track limits, what you can go around without getting the hazard sign on a lap. So we're a bit closer this time. As you can see here, a 1:15.7 is actually pretty good for this circuit for me. I think the best I've done is a 1:14.8. I don't know what the world record is around this track for these cars, but it can't be far off that. So again, look here, guys. We just haven't got the power. The guy's doing manual with clutch. It may have messed around with some of his tuning setup. And again, that's something I've not messed with. I've not even messed with tuning, because you can actually tune the cars in the spec events. So again, you've all got to be, you know, the standard car, but you can tune it up. That's something else, actually, which I should have mentioned earlier on in the video. Look at some of the tuning setups. You can load them up, give them a go, and just see, you know, see how you get on. But the problem is with the tuning setups in the game, they are a bit hit and miss. You can actually research the tuning yourself, learn about it, but again, it's not really a simulation racing game, this, guys. It's more arcadey than anything. So here we are, lap number 5. We're still behind him. We're still behind Mr. Skittles' SLR Racing Club. We actually managed to outbrake him into turn 1. He does the switcheroo. I tried to turn in, but bit naughty from me there, but kind of frustrated at this point, thinking I cannot lose this race. We know we're actually quicker than him when we get to the chicane at the top of this straight here. Again, if we was doing manual with clutch, he's doing manual with clutch, we would definitely get past him on this straight. But unfortunately, we're running automatic. However, he's going to mess about going through these S's with manual with clutch, or even manual even. And obviously, he's not concentrating on the correct braking zone. He's not concentrating on the turning in correctly. And he's, you know, a lot of the time he's actually going around the outside of that corner. So here we are again. Back down the hills very slightly. Still haven't got this raw speed on a straight line. Again, he turns in a bit late there. He goes wide there, so we're closer than ever now, coming into the final bend onto the start-finish straight. We actually lose a bit there, which was disappointing. He goes off to the right. I'm not really going to follow him because even when I'm drafting him, it doesn't really make much of a difference. I'd rather go into a straight line, make sure I nail my braking point here. So we're right under his rear spoiler going up here. And we are actually closer than ever now. We know we've got to get it done at the top of the hill. We know we're quicker on the chicane at the top. And that's where we're going to try to get it done. We're right behind him. We pull out now. We've actually got, look at that, guys. We've got a tiny bit of a toe, giving us a bit more speed. And we actually brake late into there. We know we've got him there. So we passed him now. As I said in yesterday's video when I actually put this gameplay up, you know, adrenaline, hands were shaking, palms were sweaty, heartbeat was increasing. And again, I'm getting no younger. My missus had the defib on standby. And unfortunately, guys, all that adrenaline, we actually go round this corner terribly. Even though I can do that with my eyes closed. You can see that his headlights on my rear spoiler. And again, he's right behind me. I'm like, just go in a straight line. And guys, we get the win. 1/100th of a second difference. Sorry, 10th. 1/10th. Less than a 10th, guys. 900ths of a second, guys. So again, I've only been playing this game for what, like 2 months now, and I'm at the level I'm at. I'm hoping this video has helped everybody. I'm going to be doing lots more Forza content on the channel. It's like any game, guys. The better you get at a game, the more you enjoy it. So thank you everybody for watching. If you've stayed until the end, please type in the comments section, Simon is the best Forza driver I have ever seen. And it'll be funny because nobody's normally going to say that unless they've been provoked into saying it. All right, love you all. Take it easy. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.